Hello, I'm Jeff Siegel. Welcome to SantaAnita.com and our Sunday video seminars. We examine the 9-race program at Santa Anita and a huge pick six carryover to shoot for, so we'll attack that enthusiastically. We're going to pass the first race, though. This is a race that I'm not really that keen on. It is a 6 furlong claiming event, fillies and mares in for 12-5. Number 3, As She, looks like she's well spotted for Jeff Mullins. I'm not sure that there's a whole lot in here that she has to fear, although she's been known to fail when well backed in the past. I think she's probably primed and ready for a big effort today. Has enough speed to lay fairly close and can finish, but as I say, I don't think there's that much here to lean on. I'm going to pass the race, sit out and watch the first, and maybe watch the second as well, because in the second we have a 4-5 favorite in number 1 on your program, Rumor. Now, she was as impressive as you can possibly imagine in her racing debut. She won that maiden race running 6 furlongs and 107-4. Won that race by almost 7 lengths. And she has trained extremely well since. Now, she has the pedigree, I believe, to at least stay a mile. The Indian Charlies can get a mile, and out of a mare by Deputy Minister. Plus, she has the good inside draw. Obviously, you can't play her. It would probably will be 3-5 or maybe even less than that. But Rumor is still a very good filly and well worth watching, if nothing else. So no play in the first or second. And the third race, another race that we can actually, maybe this one we can play. It's not a great play, but number 7, Red Dwarf, is a first-time starter, making his debut finally at age 4, and a colt by Atticus. Draws a comfortable outside post, going 6.5 furlongs. This is a Calbred in the Mike Pipey barn, and he has trained well enough to win at first asking. And those that have run, not all that impressive. Number 1, Red Scare, has some ability for Carla Gaines. He has to lead from the rail, but had a run here earlier this meeting. Ran all fair, not great, but he was well backed. He probably can improve. And number 2, Jade River, is a first-time starter from Ron Ellis's barn, who's trained well enough to give him a chance. But of those horses, I think Red Dwarf is the one. And 2-1 in the morning line, it's probably about right. So we'll put him on top. If you'd like to use him as a rolling exotic single, you can do that. But again, no big deal here in the third race. However, the fourth race kicks off the pick six, and now we're going to get down and dirty. And this is a race, a maiden claiming race, going 7/8 of a mile. You might want to spread this race. I don't really trust anything in here, although number 3, Silver Luna, does look like she could be the best filly if she decides to run her best race. Problem is, she was beaten at 3-5 2 races back. Beaten as the favorite again last time at 2-1. So, you know, maybe not one to trust, but she has so little to beat, and she has numbers that would win. And going 7/8 of a mile, I think, will be a good trip for her. I think Silver Luna is about ready to finally earn her maiden. Whiskers and Rye, the number 4, 9-2 in the morning line, and Bourrie at 4-1 also have a right to run well. But I'm going to maybe stick with Silver Luna. What would, for me, will be a very small pick six ticket. But again, if you're playing a little bigger, you may want to throw a few others in there. Number 3, Silver Luna, my top selection in today's fourth race. But again, no big deal. Fifth race, I do like number 6, Camp Victory, as a straight play. This is a $40,000 claiming race going a mile on grass. And Camp Victory is coming out of a very strong race. The horse that was second in that race, Earn Never Given, came back to win yesterday. And that was a pretty good $62,500 optional claimer. Now showing up for 40, also stretching out to a mile while retaining Rosario for John Sadler. So Camp Victory, who's got excellent speed, the pace in the situation looks okay for him. I don't think he needs to be in front, although he likes to be there going long, and I think he's probably the best of the front-running types of the pace pressures. Not a lot of effective late speed here, so I think Camp Victory can get there first. He's 5-2 in the morning line. That seems about right. So let's put number 6, Camp Victory, on top. You can single him if you would like in any rolling exotics you're playing, or you can spread the race. Obviously, there are other contenders in here as well that you can make a case for. Cardiff Giant has a chance. Gallant Gent, the Craig Lewis horse, blinkers going on there. Sarava's Wild again for Terry Knight has a little bit of a long shot look. All those horses are contenders, but I'm going with number 6, Camp Victory. Sixth race, starter allowance race, and I like number 2, Smart Spending, as a good solid single and straight play here at 4-1. Now we haven't seen him since last year, where he was up at Hastings Park in Western Canada. Broke his maiden first time out, set very fast fractions in the British Columbia Derby before retiring. Now he shows up for his third lifetime, starting a starter allowance race for Carla Gaines, and has been training very well, dead fit. We know he can fire fresh because he broke his maiden first time out. And I think he's better than his moderate buyer numbers give him credit for. So I really like smart spending here. I think he's got the good tactical speed to lay close up, going 6.5. He's fresh, he's dangerous, not a terribly strong field. Let's go with the shipper at 4-1, number 2, Smart Spending, as our rolling exotic single and straight play in today's 6th race here at Santa Anita. 7th race, pretty good 9 furlong allowance event. The two that we're looking at, number 3 and number 7 on your program. Number 3 is Andina. Number 7 is Calle, Vista. Both coming out of the same race. That was the common race won by Hermera back in mid-January. Andina had not been out since July. I really think she has the most room for improvement. She closed well. She fell a little short, just beaten a half length. She was the favorite that day, but I think she's going to make amends. I think she'll be a little fitter, a little stronger. Talamo rides her back for Ben Cecil. So Andina, to me, is logically and strictly the one to beat. 5-2 in the morning line. That's a good solid price there. Calle Vista made the running in that same race and was beaten just a half length, finishing just ahead of Andina. She's had the benefit of a little bit more recent racing, though, so maybe a little bit less room for improvement for Calle Vista. Also, she's catching more speed today than she caught last time. And maybe most comfortable on the front end. So Calle Vista is definitely my second selection. Andina is definitely my top selection, and I would think that she would be able to produce the last run and get there first. 3-7 in that order with Andina over Calle Vista. The 8th race is the La Cañada. Blind Luck is even money on the morning line. I'm not sure she has to win. Now, she was beaten last time out at 70 cents on the dollar in the El Encino, and she got plenty of pace to run at, and she still couldn't get up. And now she switches back to Bejarano, who, of course, has ridden her in the past. The pace scenario here for Always a Princess is much more favorable. Last time she got forced into a very hot pace and still came away and won. Now, granted, at that time, the racetrack was playing much more kindly for front runners than it is now. But Always a Princess is going to get that same kind of front running trip, and if she's not policed early, she could be very tough to catch once again. The other wild card in the race is number 2, Harmonius, trying dirt for the first time. Outstanding filly who certainly showed her class in winning a grade 1 on grass at Keeneland and beaten in a photo in the Frankel when she was victimized by a lack of pace. If she can reproduce that form on the main track, she can definitely win. And she worked in 10 and change over the track. So it may not be the actual dirt that bothers her. It might be the kickback that she may have to deal with because she is kind of a closer. But I definitely respect Harmonius. I would not be surprised at all if she won the race. And that makes it a tough race, makes it a spread. So 2, 3, and 4, Harmonius, Always a Princess, and Blind Luck. And the best price of the 3, obviously, is Harmonius at 7-2. So you may want to consider her as a straight play as well. But definitely use all 3 in your rolling exotics. 9th and final, maiden race down the hill, 6.5, a real grass grab bag. I'm going to look at several horses here as possible contenders. Number 1, Photo Shopped. Well beaten for Julio Canani in his racing debut, but that was that brilliant race that the Factor won. So let's draw a line through that and assume that Photoshop's going to run much better. He has worked like an ice cold. So at 8-1, definitely use number 1, Photoshop. Also number 6, Rock So Hard. He had a run over at Delmar that was promising. He was second that day, returns for Baffert. He's trained well enough to give him a good chance. He hasn't been scintillating in the morning like many of the Bafferts, but good enough here. And he is by Rock Hard 10, so he should like the grass. Definitely use that one. Throw in the John Sheriff's number 7, Shamino. Now, I know Sheriff's record with firsters is borderline awful, but this is another colt who's bred to really love the turf, being by elusive quality out of a northern baby mare, and he's trained well enough to give him a chance. And then also throw in number 9, Husband's Folly, the Karchi colt, who comes out of a fairly decent race over at Hollywood, and although he is a Calbred trying open company, another one bred for grass, training well, and switching to Bejarano. So throw in number 9, Husband's Folly as well. So kind of a spread race, 1, 6, 7, and 9. Use all 4 in all of your rolling exotics, and especially the pick 6 if you are playing that as well. So a good card today. Chances for some prices. Best of luck today at Santa Anita. Best of luck with that carryover. And we'll talk to you again when racing resumes next Thursday.